Hey guys, Marsingan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today is the last day of the Goku event burst mode being available, so I thought I would do this as a video. I did post a screenshot on Twitter the other day. I think this is one of the first runs that I did, because of course I did, it's me, right? So we're going to jump in and do the max difficulty settings, as always, aside from obviously the restricting the characters' typings or categories, but we have all of the modifiers turned on for the enemy's damage, defense, HP, damage reduction, all that good stuff. I'm not putting on the locking or the key minus because it's super annoying. We are going to have the no items one. Not that it really matters because we're not going for a high score, but all of the difficulty modifiers for the actual boss are on, and we are going to use the heroes team. So this should be pretty fun. The thing that a lot of people complained about for the Goku and the Vegeta is obviously they have to build up. Goku needs to be hit a whole bunch of times, and then Vegeta needs to super attack a whole bunch of times. And in some of the events, like, unless you take risks early on, especially with Goku, like getting him hit a bunch of times, it can take him a while to build up. So with the longer event, that obviously is giving us the opportunity to get that build up a little bit easier. So we don't have a great starting rotation here, no links active whatsoever, but at least we do have a full super types heroes rotation, so the Vegetas will be getting their guaranteed additional supers. We've got 3 infinite stacking units on the team, the STR Great Saiyaman 4, aka Beat, and then of course we have the Xeno Super Saiyan Goku and the Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So they should have Xeno Super Saiyan even. We don't have the Xeno Super Saiyan 4s yet, aside from the Limit Breakers. It's weird. I always think it's weird that they skipped over those, right? Because we got base form Xeno Goku and Vegeta, then they awakened into Super Saiyan, and we have the Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Goku and Vegeta. But they skipped over just normal Super Saiyan 4, and went straight to Limit Breaker, which is interesting. So we don't have the Xeno Super Saiyan 4s. Wonder if this year we'll get Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 like Vegeta and Broly. That would be pretty cool. But you guys know me, I always have to push the heroes agenda. Everybody else doubted the heroes team, and I have no itemed every single event in the game with the heroes team. Shout out to people that were coming out to... There was a period where I was doing daily live streams to do our 5 attempts to beat the Gamma 1 and 2 Red Zone stage, because that was the only one I had left to do at a certain point. And finally managed to get it done. It took a ton of tries. Like, that's the thing. I'm never going to argue that the Heroes team is like the best team in the game or anything. And consistency is often a way that we would rate teams as like how good they are in an overall sort of tier list, I guess. And the Heroes team, whilst it is able to beat those events, I obviously wouldn't say it's like super consistent, especially with how many attempts some of them took. But the point is, it can be done. My biggest complaint about Heroes, or the way Heroes was received last year, was the number of people saying that the units were just bad on release. And it's like, well, they came out in November. The Red Ribbon Army Red Zone came out... Was that in November as well, or was it December? Or was it January? Was it around the time that Gohan and Piccolo came? I actually can't even remember now. But, like, every bit of content that was available in the game at the time when the Heroes units came out, I have beaten with no items. So, I don't know how that qualifies the team as being bad. You can say that they're inconsistent, you can say that they're not great. I was getting into multiple arguments with people on Twitter when these units came out about how this community uses the term mid, because as far as I'm concerned, mid is a tier below good, and good is at least one tier below saying something like great, and I would say that the Heroes units are good. They're not great, they're just good, but that means they're not mid. And like, it just seems weird to me to say like a team that is mid, but it can beat every event in the game with no items. It's like, doesn't really track with me, but you know, I am the Heroes guy. I say that, there are a couple of us out there. Shout out to Dokkan Assets. I know Toon is a big fan of Heroes as well. But yeah, a lot of people know me as the Heroes guy. I will defend Heroes. I love this team. We're getting a good lot of support here for Great Saiyaman 3. As long as we don't get supered immediately in slot 1, this is actually a very good turn. And remember, Great Saiyaman 3 is Trunks, so he gets the support from the Xeno Vegeta on this turn. Both of the Xeno Super Saiyans should get a decent amount of build up. I guess once we've gotten a few more hits on Goku, because I do want him to be fully built up as soon as possible, but it might be an idea to just run a rotation of the two Xeno Super Saiyans together, because they are our infinite stackers, right? So we want them to be getting as many stacks in as possible as early as possible. Great Saiyaman 3 is probably the only unit who could be a big liability when we get to the end, because of the kind of damage that he would take from a super from Int UI Goku, but he should be okay. Like, once he's fully built up and he's supered first, his defense is okay. And so hopefully once we get to that point, I don't think he would get one shot by a super, but how much will this do? 87k, okay, that's nothing. Because the thing with Goku is that they gave this Goku damage reduction, and he needs to get hit a whole bunch of times. So I feel like because of that, everybody looked at his kit and went, okay, well, he's supposed to be a slot 1 unit that you run next to Vegeta, and you run them as a rotation. But unfortunately, he's not a great slot 1 unit. Like, the damage reduction that he has is not a huge amount, coupled with the fact that his start of turn defense isn't like the craziest. So yeah, you have 523 now. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to one-shot Super Saiyan 3 Goku, so let's do this. So we'll do this, and then we'll grab these. And then, yeah, I think we'll keep... Next time we get... I think because I floated off Xeno Vegeta on the previous turn, so when he's on rotation next, we'll keep him on. How much does this do? Yeah, 56, okay. Because the thing is, the biggest problem with doing some of the heroes no item runs for the red zone stages was the fact that units like Great Saiyaman 3, he is probably still like the best normal attack counter unit in the game. Like when you run him on his optimal team, right? Because he needs to be run basically with like a full Time Travelers team to get his full stats buff. But when you're running him on the team where he has his full passive and everything, he probably is like the best counter unit. Like, he takes double-digit damage from normal attacks from like most of the bosses, but he just gets destroyed by a super attack. And the biggest problem I was having is that I was going into these stages and he was like a magnet for super attacks. It was just like unbelievable, right? I'd put him in the slot where there was the least attacks. I would almost like second guess myself. It'd be like, okay, this is the slot where I want to put him, and then I would hesitate and be like, actually no, I'll put him in a different slot and see if that gets me out of him like taking a super in the initial place that I was going to put him. And then of course he would end up taking a super in the slot that I had moved him to instead. So in the tougher content, he definitely can't be eating super attacks like left, right and centre, which is unfortunate. But when it comes to normals, he just tanks them all for double digits. He does good damage, build him full crits so we can get crits on the counters. Even his actual attack stat for his super attack is pretty good. So he is a very solid unit, but yeah, I think we just run this rotation, right, with the two Saiyamen. So we can do this, and then might as well grab these, I guess. So we've got some decent orbs. Now, next rotation, we should have the Xeno Super Saiyans together, and we have a huge cluster of both of the orbs for them that they need. So, but yeah, these are his worst case scenarios, getting super attacked in slot 1, but here we have type advantage. Him being linked up with Great Saiyaman 4 is obviously really good as well. In certain red zone stages, I feel like that rotation is too dangerous to run, but in this mode, where we are able to just kind of stack and stack away with Saiyaman 4 and keep him a little bit more defended, they obviously work really well, right? They share some links, Saiyaman 4 is providing support, and some of the links they share are very powerful. I'll highlight them on the next rotation, but I think one of them is the one, I believe, called Hero of Justice, which is a pretty good link in terms of the buff that it gives. And there's not many units on the Heroes team that he shares that with. So, but yeah, I'm always looking forward to Heroes. You know, I've been thinking about Heroes. We were talking about on the timeline actually the other day about like who was going to Easy A this year and everything. You know, I feel like maybe it's a little bit too early for me to start spamming out the videos about this year's Heroes celebration, but just know that I want to. It's always something that I'm happy to think about and talk about. So let me know what you guys think. I know there's a couple of people in the chat as well. Shout out to Professor. A couple of people who still mention the Heroes units and how excited they are for the Heroes celebration each year. Hopefully this year will be great again. I mean, last year I enjoyed it. Like, definitely the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s felt underpowered compared to some of the headliners that we have seen. And I feel like they have to tread this weird balance because, like, a lot of people think that they should be Dokkan Fest exclusive level. But the problem is, you get them on a guaranteed featured banner. So if you get, I mean, obviously this could happen with a normal banner anyway, if you were insanely lucky. But if you got really lucky, you could like Rainbow Goku in 5 multis. So they can't make him as good as like, you know, the Gammas or Dokkan Fest Kid Goku. I mean, they could, and they should, because, you know, it would be nice if gachas were actually a bit more generous. But, yeah, it's just not something that they are realistically ever going to do, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, like, the way I look at it, as long as the team is good enough to beat the content, which, you know, by this point, I feel like I have proved that it is, you know, then it's good enough, right? It would be nice if they were stronger, always. It's always fun to get the shiny new units that just absolutely destroy everything. But sometimes it's fun to run teams that are just a bit different, a bit fun, and a bit more challenging. Because Heroes definitely brings a whole level of uniqueness to the table, right? With all the different forms, all the different versions of characters that we never get to see in other Dragon Ball media. I'm always just a huge fan of Heroes. And this year with the EZAs, we are going to be getting an EZA for the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito and Super Saiyan 4 Broly. And I think we talked about this a little while ago. I talked about it in a video, I've talked about it with people in like the group chats that I'm in. It feels like one of the reasons they tuned down the newer units is because they may have realised, especially when they looked at like the docket for this year, that when Super Saiyan 4 Vegito and Broly EZA, they are essentially going to have like LR stats. So I think Vegito has like over 22,000 HP or something. And so they might have sort of seen that and thought, oh, hang on a sec, like, maybe we need to pump the brakes a little bit, which I don't think they should do, right? Because obviously the Heroes units are not going to get their EZAs, especially the newer ones. They're not going to get their EZAs for a couple of years. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to, like, nerf them now for, you know, they're considering their performance in the future. That seems a little bit on the odd side to me, but we took a lot of damage on that turn because, of course, of all the units to take a super attack, it was the physical Vegeta. I think both the Xeno Super Saiyans on this rotation have enough defense to eat a super reasonably well. Because they do stack quite nice. I mean, these guys, when they get their EZAs, which I think will be next year, they will be incredibly good, right? When they awakened, they were super good. And they became, like, pretty much must-run units on their teams. Like, remember, for Goku specifically, the fact that they're on teams like Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Goku Family, like, that just makes that physical Goku, as long as he is meta-relevant, he's like a must-run unit on all those teams. Because Kamehameha teams are essentially exclusively Goku Family units. I think there's, like, one Trunks and then, like, a Krillin that's on Kamehameha. And then some Roshis. Actually, there are a couple, right? But in terms of the optimal units for the meta, it's mostly Vegeta family, Goku family units. So having a Goku family support unit that is really, really good on those teams, obviously is a big benefit. So ton of HP restored here. As long as we don't get immediately supered, I think we're looking good on this turn. Saiyaman, after his attack, should be good enough to eat a super. And then obviously Goku, once Goku's fully built up, Limit Breaker Goku, that defense he gets on Super and the fact that he has that damage reduction makes him very, very good. This is what I was talking about a little bit earlier about why he's not really like a super good slot 1 unit. But once he's built up, and especially after he's attacked, his defensive capability is actually pretty good. So, and then of course fully built up he gets the guaranteed crits. So we finish you off. And then we are looking pretty good. Okay, yeah, this rotation's looking fine. What's your defense? 500k for the Xeno Super Saiyans. So I think we are going to be all good here somehow. So let's do this. Xeno Vegeta obviously would take more damage if he's the one that's going to get supered. But he's at like 500k now. And he gets to attack first. So he gets another stack. So I don't know how much damage exactly UI Goku does in this phase with his super. But I would be surprised if he even does like 100k to Vegeta. And he's attacking Goku instead. So, is this going to be double-digit damage? 8,000. So Vegeta, maybe he would have taken maybe up to like 100k, because there's with type advantage as well. And then of course he dodges. This will be the interesting part of this fight now, is to see how much UI Goku decides to dodge. Because he could dodge a lot, and then we're going to be stuck in this phase for a while. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Okay, this works out very nicely for you, so you can get your counters in here. If we can get crit counters aplenty with Great Saiyaman 3 here, this is going to be a devastating turn. So let's see, what can we output here with Great Saiyaman 3? Man, there's so many attacks. Now, unfortunately, he can obviously dodge the counters. He can dodge the super as well, but... Alright, there's a crit, and he doesn't dodge. Nice. Good damage. No crit, but there's the dodge, so that's fine. Just don't dodge the crit ones, and then I'm okay, right? Crit. No dodge. Perfect. Okay, now the super. This will probably do a decent amount, but he does have quite high defense. I wouldn't expect more than, like, 200k. Okay, never mind. I mean, this is what I was saying in the video earlier, right? He's a super attack magnet. There's nothing I can do about it, apparently. Regardless of where I use him, what slot I put him in. Bro just wants to eat super attacks to the face, apparently. But, I mean, he is the weakest link on the team for eating a super, and we don't get one shot, so I think we are pretty much sealed the deal here for the victory. Would be nice if I could get more same type orbs, but I think we can do this, right? Because of the amount of defense Vegeta has, he can eat a super in slot 1. So I'll do this, and then we'll do this. And then, yeah, with his damage reduction and the defense he gets on super, Goku would survive getting super attacked at the end, so that would be fine. Yeah, I think we might... There's a potential that we'll be able to win this turn, as long as he doesn't just dodge everything. So... Alright, didn't dodge Goku, we get the double super. Okay, yeah, no, Goku... We're not going to finish him off this turn, but I think next turn... With the amount of HP that we have, it definitely would be bad for him to Super Great Saiyaman again on the next turn. If we can pick up a decent amount of same type orbs, we can get a decent heal though. Which we can't. Well, I mean, we can get... Alright, we'll do this. We can get one orb for you, which will give us a bit of a heal, but then we can get all of these physical orbs for you. So, I'm pretty sure that means regardless of who eats a super this turn, we don't die, right? Because Great Saiyaman 4, his defense has been stacking, he's type neutral. So he shouldn't take, like, yeah. So he took a lot of damage. I was going to say, he shouldn't take, like, 400k. And then as long as we don't get dodged into oblivion. This is the turn where Great Saiyaman 3 would have been able to pop off if he was being attacked a few more times. But we should be good here. Because Vegeta, actually, funnily enough, I think it's one of the abilities that people kind of made fun of when we saw the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4's kit. Because obviously by then... like, these events were kind of outdated in terms of difficulty. But Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, once his full passive is built up, is actually guaranteed to hit. So UI Goku can't dodge him. But we got at the finish with Great Saiyaman 3. So there you go. That is the Heroes team beating the max difficulty Goku event Burst Mode. Like I say, this is the last day that Burst Mode was available. So I thought I would get this run recorded. I actually, like I say, did do this run when it first dropped. Although, I think I used somebody else except for Great Saiyaman 4. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to use that rotation for this video. So, yeah, there you go. That is the Heroes team, keeping the Heroes agenda alive. It will be a long time until we see news about this year's celebration. But let me know what characters you're potentially looking forward to, what easy A's, all that good stuff down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.